Hello, everyone. This is William Armstrong with a mishap fail Friday night edition. It says a Redditor finds heavy block of iron shavings inside cheap power supply unit also appears to lack safety protections. That's one way to bypass quality control. In general, you shouldn't open your power supply, but if you don't know what to expect inside. But Reddit cringe 990 on the PCMR subreddit, PC Master Race subreddit did and found a power supply. Found a power supply, I should say power supply, not power supplies. Found a power supplies that appears to be dangerous if not low quality. The Equites T500 has all the traits of a low quality power supply, like no overcurrent protection, but this particular unit also came with an object housed inside. Upon inspection, the Redditor poster found a huge block of iron inside the PSU securely installed next to the capacitors. Uh-oh. Even though it was attached inside the unit, the iron block has no functional purpose. None of the other electrical components had any wiring or direct connection to the iron block in any form or shape. The only explanation to address this phenomenon is whoever built this power supply added the iron block to make the unit feel weightier than it actually is, giving it the impression of a higher quality unit. Weight isn't traditionally a factor that defines higher-end units, but generally speaking, most high-end power supplies are heavier than their lower wattage counterparts due to extra components higher wattage units need to expand their capabilities. That Equites T500 power supply is actually fake. It has no safety protections in it. On the PC Master Race subreddit, it just says, is there a genius reason that this cheap PSU has a block of iron fillings in it, or are they trying to make it feel heavy? But the iron block isn't the worst part of the unit. User Hatix responded to the Redditor's findings, confirming that they saw has no input protections to speak of, including overcurrent protection, or OCP protection. Hatix suggested that the unit isn't capable of achieving its 500 watt limit and is likely to limit to a far lower 250 watts. A power supply with no protection is the most dangerous component to have in a system. With no protection, the power supply components could undergo catastrophic failure and take the rest of the system with it. Ideally, you want a unit with overcurrent protection, OVP, UVP, overvoltage, undervoltage protection, OPP, over power protection, OTP, over temperature protection, and SCP, short circuit protection, to make sure the power supply cuts the power before damage occurs under unideal conditions. You also want a power supply made by reputable manufacturers with all their proper safety testing and regulation marking. A good unit will also ensure that proper power delivery is making its way to each of your components, ensuring system stability. For more details, be sure to check out our PSU's 101 guide. It goes without saying that no one should use the power supply that Reddit Cringe 990 found. Hopefully, the manufacturer will own its mistakes in the future and build a proper replacement that users can depend on. So, having that said, long story short, someone at the manufacturing company made a power supply that is low quality, that is pitifully bad, that has iron filings inside of it to make it feel like it's heavier than it should be. Just a simple transformer block with iron filings in it, by the looks of it. Here are the images, and when broken open, you can see nothing but there's iron filings inside of it to make it heavier. So that little block has got iron filings in it. Wah wah! Someone cheaped out on the power supply manufacturing it, and they just put in what appears to look like a transformer, except they put in a metal case with iron filings in to make it more heavier than it already is. Well, than it should be. And the fact that this power supply has no safety protections of overcurrent, overvoltage, undercurrent, short circuit protection. There's no safety protections to ensure that if something goes bzzzt, if something just goes horribly wrong, it won't take the entire computer with it. Most power supplies and computers have safety protections in place that'll trip, such as overcurrent, overvoltage, overcurrent, undervoltage, short circuit protections to ensure it doesn't take the entire computer with it. This doesn't go without saying, but warning, do not take apart, I repeat, warning, do not take apart a power supply unless you're sure you know what you're doing, because one wrong move, if you touch a capacitor with a metal object in your hand, you can get zizzed. You can get electrocuted real quick if you touch a capacitor that's fully charged, and all of a sudden all that electric current gets unleashed into you real quick if you touch the capacitor with the metal screwdriver, bare metal, and all of a sudden you get a large amount of current discharged right into you, which can hurt you. And this power supply says intelligent temperature control, but I call BS on that because obviously there's images on Reddit here of the poster of the person by Reddit Cringe 990, and all you can see is a little cooling fan, a little mediocre cooling fan, and no safety current protections. There's a fuse in there, but there's no short circuit or overcurrent, undervoltage, overvoltage protection. There should also be a thermal protection in the power supply in case the power supply gets too hot. It would trip out in case of it overheated. But that's not the case with this particular power supply that this Redditor has posted. So yeah, so that's an epic fail. It says 500 watts on the power supply of this particular power supply unit, but that's actually false, is what I read in the article. So this is William Armstrong signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye.